list and across the series will be based on 100 grams of the individual food for the sake of consistency and ease of comparison. Also, everything we're talking about today will be based on the foods being cooked because you probably don't want to eat them raw. And also, because I'm sure I'm not alone in my curiosity, let me know which of these you've had before, what you thought of them, how you prepared them, really just anything you think might be good to know for someone trying it for the first time. But now I think it's time we learn what's inside the insides, so let's get to the list. First up, beef brain is a somewhat higher calorie organ meat with a standard micronutrient profile. It's a solid source of vitamin B12 and phosphorus, as well as choline, a not vitamin that regulates mood, memory, and other brain functions, and carnosine, which is shown to improve exercise performance. However, most interestingly, brain is considered the best organ meat for omega-3s, mainly DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, which aids the health of your brain, heart, eyes, and more. And the brain, being a very unique organ, contains many components that are considered beneficial. Phosphatidylserine, a phospholipid that supports cognitive function, memory, and focus. Sphingomyelin, another phospholipid that's part of cell membrane structure, shown to benefit gut health and aid with lipid metabolism. And brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, benefiting cognitive function and mood and preventing neurodegenerative diseases. Honestly, the brain was a great one to open up with because it demonstrates just how unique and complex these organ meats can be. And beef brain in particular, I'm going to put in the B tier. Lamb brain is a high-calorie organ meat with a solid micronutrient profile. It's even fattier than beef brain, having a roughly 3 to 2 to 1 ratio of saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fat. This in turn, though, comes with a higher DHA content, one of the better omega-3s, and all that entails. Lamb brain is also the highest on this list of phosphorus, which is used mainly in bone and phospholipid formation, and it's the highest among the brains in copper and vitamin B12, while also containing a relevant vitamin C content. Lamb brain also contains all the other compounds beef brain did, the phospholipids, BDNF, and choline. Basically, this is a higher caloried but arguably more nutritious brain that's also going in the B tier. Pork brain is a low-calorie organ meat with a lesser micronutrient profile to match. It is easily the leanest of the three brains we're covering today, meaning that it also contains the least DHA as well, though it is still more than every other type of organ meat. Pork brain also contains everything else you should expect based on the first two: the brain-boosting choline, phosphatidylserine, and BDNF, the gut-boosting sphingomyelin, and the exercise-improving carnosine. It is still a brain after all, but being arguably the lesser of the three, I'm going to put pork brain in the C tier. Chicken gizzard is an average caloried organ meat with a mild micronutrient profile. For those who don't know, gizzard is essentially poultry's stomach. Chicken gizzard stands out by being a very lean meat and the highest in protein on this list per gram and per calorie. It's rich in collagen, a protein used for skin and connective tissue, and other than that, it's just generally at least as nutritious as most cuts of chicken. This is probably not a good choice for your first organ meat experience, and it does have overall a lot less going on than others. Thus, I'm going to put chicken gizzard in the B tier. Turkey gizzard is an average caloried organ meat with an ordinary micronutrient profile. The main difference is that it's a bit fattier than chicken gizzard. It is, however, noticeably more microdense in a few relevant ones like vitamin B12 and selenium, as well as vitamin B3 and copper. But again, this is one of the less exciting ones, as gizzard is mainly just smooth muscle with no function that would make it more nutritious. And so I'm going to put turkey gizzard in the C tier. Beef heart is an average caloried organ meat with a passable micronutrient profile. It's among the most protein-dense meats on this list, while also being a solid source of vitamin B12, vitamin B2, copper, and iron. And heart specifically from grass-fed cows also contain DHA, on top of other nutrients synonymous with red meat. The aforementioned carnosine, as well as creatine, a natural energy supplier to muscles, and taurine, a special amino acid with antioxidant benefits. What makes heart meat unique, though, is the presence of coenzyme Q10, which boosts energy production and heart health. Heart meat is often considered to be the best organ meat in terms of health, and it's generally considered to be one of the more palatable ones too. Overall, beef heart is going to be the first resident of the top tier. Chicken heart is an average caloried organ meat with a unique micronutrient profile. It's the best source on this list of zinc, which is mainly known for healing and immune function, and is a great source of vitamin B12, vitamin B5, and the highest among hearts in iron. Chicken heart is also higher in coenzyme Q10 than beef heart and contains a relevant amount of other staple compounds like DHA, creatine, and taurine. Another fantastic health-oriented choice, chicken heart is going in the top tier. Lamb heart is an average caloried organ meat with a solid micronutrient profile. It is generally the highest in omega 3 fatty acids among hearts, and it's a reliable source of vitamin B12, vitamin B2, and selenium. And of course, lamb heart contributes all the other usual compounds: carnosine, creatine, coenzyme Q10, and conjugated linoleic acid, a naturally occurring trans fat shown to aid with fat loss. An excellent food, as all hearts seem to be. I'm going to put lamb heart in the A tier. Pork heart is an average caloried organ meat with a quality micronutrient profile. It's actually the best source on this list of vitamin B1, thiamine, which mainly functions in converting carbohydrates into energy. It's also a good source of vitamin B12 and vitamin B2. Pork heart is also among the highest in the signature coenzyme Q10, while of course containing carnosine and taurine. It's also just straight up more nutritious than pork meat. It's hard to go wrong with heart, and the pork variety is going in the A tier. Turkey heart is an average caloried organ meat with a great micronutrient profile. It's the highest in the essential vitamin B6 of hearts and a good source of the usual vitamin B12, vitamin B2, selenium, and copper. It of course also contains coenzyme Q10 and taurine, and again it's just generally more nutritious than turkey meat. Another heart-preserving heart that's really hard to go wrong with, turkey heart, is going in the A tier. Beef kidney is an average caloried organ meat, and kidney is consistently the second most microdense next to liver. It's among the best sources of protein per calorie and one of the highest in selenium and vitamin B2 riboflavin, while being an excellent source of vitamin B12. Kidney is rich in carnosine and choline, as well as ergothioneine, an amino acid with antioxidant properties. While it may not seem like it at first glance, this is one of the most nutritious foods that I've ever talked about, and here it's going in the A tier. Lamb kidney is a lower caloried organ meat with a plentiful micronutrient profile. It's very lean, especially for anything from lamb, making it one of the higher protein sources per calorie. Lamb kidney is also a fantastic source of vitamin B12, selenium, vitamin B2, and iron, while of course containing the beneficial ergothioneine, choline, and carnosine. Another very nutrient-dense food that only seems tame because it's on this list, lamb kidney is going in the A tier. Pork kidney is an average caloried organ meat with a bountiful micronutrient profile. It's one of the leanest parts of the pig, and it's actually the best source of selenium, which is used as an antioxidant and in DNA synthesis. And of course, it's high in vitamin B12, vitamin B2, and copper. And I probably don't need to repeat myself, but I will. Kidney is rich in the healthy choline, carnosine, and ergothioneine. So let's give pork kidney as much of a spotlight as possible as it joins the A tier, because that spotlight is about to be ripped straight from its metaphorical hands. Beef liver is an average caloried organ meat with a ridiculous micronutrient profile. Livers in animals act as a storage organ for many nutrients, so yeah, it's a lot. Beef liver is the highest on this list of several nutrients: copper, which is most known for red blood cell creation and the aiding of iron absorption; vitamin B3, niacin, one of the metabolism vitamins that turns food into energy; vitamin B6, which is crucial for the upkeep of your nervous and immune systems; and choline, a nutrient used for several brain functions. Beef liver is also among the richest sources of true vitamin A, as well as vitamin B12, vitamin B2, and vitamin B5. And since it comes from a ruminant animal, you can expect it to provide other familiar compounds as well, notably carnosine, taurine, and conjugated linoleic acid. Now, this is one of the few organs where I actually need to throw out a disclaimer related to nutrition. Liver can be overconsumed by the average individual due to very high copper and vitamin A contents, which, when the body has too much of these, can cause toxicity and lead to a whole list of issues. Not that I think that's likely to happen. Overconsuming liver is difficult because it really doesn't taste good, but it may be the biggest nutrient powerhouse of all animal foods. Beef liver is going straight to the top tier. Chicken liver is an average caloried organ meat with an impressive micronutrient profile. It's the highest on this list of vitamin B5 pantothenic acid, which is used in hormone synthesis and energy production, and it's among the best sources of vitamin A and folate, while being a great source of vitamin B12, vitamin B2, and selenium as well. Chicken liver is also rich in the brain-boosting choline and the taurine amino acid. The warning about vitamin A toxicity applies here too, though chicken liver tends to not be as concerningly rich in copper. Another wickedly nutritious food, chicken liver is going in the top tier. Lamb liver is a high-calorie organ meat with a superb micronutrient profile. It is easily the fattiest liver at about a 2:1 ratio of saturated to monounsaturated to polyunsaturated fat. Lamb liver is actually the highest on this list of the all-essential vitamin B12, which is needed for red blood cell and DNA creation, and vitamin B2 riboflavin, which converts macronutrients into energy. And of course, being a liver, it's high in vitamin A, copper, and several other B vitamins. On top of being from a ruminant animal, providing it with carnosine, choline, and a hefty conjugated linoleic acid content. As with all livers, be aware of vitamin A and copper quantities to avoid toxicity, but by now I think you're starting to see the trend that liver is hyped up for a reason, and lamb liver is no different, as it's too going in the top tier. Pork liver is an average caloried organ meat with an unsurprisingly amazing micronutrient profile. And because it's pork, I thought it was kind of funny that it's actually pretty lean compared to most livers. Pork is the highest among livers in iron and zinc, and it's a great source of the benchmark vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin B2, and selenium. And this should all be getting pretty familiar at this point. It's a red meat, so it's rich in carnosine, choline, and taurine. The same warning about vitamin A toxicity applies here, and I think you guys are getting the point by now that liver is very nutritious. And pork liver is also joining the top tier. Turkey liver is a higher caloried organ meat with a stellar micronutrient profile. It's the best source on this list of folate, a B vitamin used mainly for cell development and division, and it's among the highest of vitamin A, vitamin B12, and copper. Turkey liver is, of course, also rich in choline and the unique amino acid taurine. Vitamin A overconsumption still exists, and I shouldn't need to say out loud what tier turkey liver is going into. Beef pancreas is a high-calorie organ meat with a solid micronutrient profile. It's notably pretty fatty, containing roughly twice as much saturated and monounsaturated as polyunsaturated fat. It's among the highest in phosphorus while containing a good vitamin B12 and vitamin B5 content, as well as, more uniquely, a relevant amount of vitamin C. Beef pancreas is a nutritious meat, no doubt, but it's nothing special in the world of organs, and I'm going to put it in the B tier. Lamb pancreas is a high-caloried organ meat with a typical micronutrient profile. It contains a notable amount of fat, mainly saturated and monounsaturated, and it's a good source of vitamin B12 and selenium, as well as some vitamin C. But in a world of livers, hearts, and kidneys, pancreas is overall pretty standard meat, and the lamb variant is going in the C tier. Pork pancreas is a higher caloried organ meat with a respectable micronutrient profile. It's among the highest in protein per gram on this list, and it's noticeably leaner than the other pancreases. Micronutrient-wise, it's rich in vitamin B12, selenium, and vitamin B5. Aside from protein, this is a pretty on-par offal that I'm going to put in the B tier. Beef spleen is a lower-caloried organ meat with a distinct micronutrient profile. It's among the best sources of protein per calorie on this list, and it's the highest on this list of iron, which is used to make hemoglobin, a protein in your red blood cells that transports oxygen throughout the body, and vitamin C, ascorbic acid, an antioxidant that's also needed for collagen synthesis. It's also rich in vitamin B12, selenium, and copper. And spleens have unique peptides that stimulate immune function via white blood cells that help combat disease and infection. An unsuspectingly great meat, I'm going to put beef spleen in the A tier. Lamb spleen is an average caloried organ meat with a quality micronutrient profile. It is right on the heels of the highest in iron on this list, and it's rich in vitamin B12 and selenium while containing a relevant vitamin C content. And of course, being a spleen, it has peptides that improve immune function. Another solid but fairly standard organ meat, I'm going to put lamb spleen in the B tier. Pork spleen is an average caloried organ meat with a middling micronutrient profile. It's among the best sources of protein per calorie and among the richest in the more elusive iron, while it also contains a high vitamin B12 and selenium content. And again, spleen, peptides, immune health, white blood cells, you get the picture. A good choice for organ meat nutrition, pork spleen is going in the B tier. Beef sweetbread is a very high-calorie organ meat with a lesser micronutrient profile. Sweetbread is the culinary term for the thymus gland, though it doesn't actually seem like anybody knows why it's called that. Anyway, this one in particular is the highest in fat by weight on this list. It's also the highest in saturated fat. Fortunately, in all of that fat is some omega-3 and conjugated linoleic acid. Beef sweetbread also has a relevant vitamin C content, and it's rich in the taurine amino acid. I will concede this is one of the more inferior organ meats, not providing enough nutritionally to set it apart in any way. And for that, beef sweetbread is going in the D tier. Lamb sweetbread is an average caloried organ meat with a mild micronutrient profile. It's not nearly as fatty as beef sweetbread, and it's actually the best source on this list of phosphorus, which is needed for bone and cell membrane formation. It's also rich in vitamin B12 and taurine. Overall, though, it's just less nutritious, and that's enough to put lamb sweetbread in the D tier. Beef tongue is a high-calorie organ meat with a meager micronutrient profile. It is consistently very fatty, being the highest in monounsaturated fat on this list, which is considered heart-healthy. Beef tongue is rich in vitamin B12 and choline, and it is the only type of organ on here comprised largely of skeletal muscle, giving it a much higher creatine content, and the same goes for the compound carnosine. Tongue is also claimed to be one of the more mild-flavored organ meats, making it good for those newer to the food group. To me, there's just not enough here for how caloric it is, and I'm going to put beef tongue in the D tier. Lamb tongue is a high-calorie organ meat with a slight micronutrient profile. Again, it is very fatty, among the highest in both the healthy monounsaturated fat and the somewhat more controversial saturated fat. It is richer in vitamin B12 and the non-vitamin choline, but again, nutritionally it pales in comparison to most organ meats. Lamb tongue is also going in the D tier. Pork tongue is a high-caloried organ meat with a mild micronutrient profile. It's among the highest in the generally agreed to be healthy monounsaturated fat, and it's a decent source of vitamin B12, zinc, and choline. Look, if you're eating tongue meat, it's because you like it and not because it's the most nutritious organ meat on the market, because pork tongue is also going to be joining the D tier. And lastly, beef tripe is a very low-calorie organ meat with an honestly paltry micronutrient profile. In case you didn't know, tripe is the edible muscle wall of the stomach. It's a less popular, tougher-to-eat meat with a low nutrient content to match its low-calorie content. Its nutrition isn't non-existent, but I truly do not have anything to say here. Beef tripe is going to unceremoniously round out this amazing food group in the D tier. So, how do you feel right now to be in the presence of the most nutritious set of foods on Earth? Because you and I are both capable of pretending that that D tier is just not there. Oh, you don't see a D tier? Yeah, that's what I thought. Also, I don't really know if I can claim that it's actually the most nutrient-dense food group on Earth, but it sure feels like it, doesn't it? These internal organs have very specific roles in the body, managing in some way or another everything we've discussed on this channel thus far. So you'd best believe they're going to be rich in those raw components. There's no denying that they're a bit of an acquired taste, but when prepared properly, there's nothing on Earth like them. And if you're